Let's take a look, however, at what you could and perhaps should do about verbal, emotional, and spiritual abuse. Courtesy of June Hunt, here we go. Clearly state what you are willing and not willing to accept from the abuser. Conversations, they get sloppy, they get messy, they become unwieldy. You need to bring some clarity to this situation. Whatever the person is typically saying to you that causes you to be oppressed, to be beat up, to feel rotten because they're emotionally or verbally or spiritually abusing you, you need to define what it is that you find problematic. You need to lay it out. It can and should be done lovingly. Honey, I love you to pieces. But a pattern has developed in our home. You continue to say this, act like this, treat me like that, and I simply want to let you know I cannot and I will not accept that anymore. Define what is acceptable and what is not. Step number 2 from June Hunt. Announce the consequence you will enforce if the abuser violates your boundary. Honey, those are the things that you do that cause me to feel like this. If you do that, wherever we are, whatever we are doing, I will do this. What typically is the this? Well, when we're talking not about sexual, but verbal, emotional, and spiritual abuse, separation probably is the best thing to do. If you say this to me again, I'm not going to explain why. I'm not trying to be rude. I am simply going to turn away from you, and I am going to leave the house for X amount of time. I am going to separate you. I'm not talking about like a marriage separation. I'm going to go to my mother's house for the day. I will take the kids too. I will not be a part of this house right now while you are acting like that. Again, this is not a separation that you're moving toward divorce. That's not what this conversation is about. This is trying to teach the person who is abusing you, you will not accept it, and there will be a consequence, and they should expect it. Here is step number 3 from June Hunt. Enforce the consequence every single time the abuse occurs. Most likely, if you are being trodden, I don't know if that's a verb or not, but you are being stepped on, you're probably a little bit more tender, and this is going to be hard for you to do. But do it you must. You must let the abuser know that it will happen each and every time. If you try to negotiate, you will lose. You will return to those bad patterns. If you don't do it exactly the way you said, he or she will assume, I can get away with this. Enforce it every single time so that they know this is serious and you are not going to tolerate it anymore. Step number 4 from June Hunt. Absolutely do not negotiate. Oh, no, honey, I didn't mean it. Don't go again. You go again and again and again until it stops. Do not negotiate. Step number 5 from June Hunt. Never react when your boundary is violated, only respond. You don't need to engage, don't get into an argument, don't get beat up verbally, emotionally, or spiritually anymore. Just do it. You need to show this type of person that actions and words have consequences. So you must enforce the consequence and not stoop down to the level of their abuse. Don't engage, don't wrangle, don't hangle. Hear it and do it. And final step from June Hunt, and this is important, solicit the support of 1 or 2 wise, objective people to help you through the process. When we're in these situations and when we love the person, our judgment can become a little bit cloudy and we might not make the right decision. That is why it's so important to have some spiritual oversight from your local church so that you can sit down and say, here's what happened, this is what I did, this is what he said, this is what I said. Is this the correct way to approach it? And these people can be brought in to take it to the next level if necessary, and that could be the step of church discipline. It is our hope, obviously, that you are not experiencing any of these forms of abuse, verbal, emotional, or spiritual. But if you know somebody who is, perhaps this will be helpful. Why? Because God does not intend for somebody to be abused.